The third area is support. It's no good for management to say, yep, have a really good security program, but you don't have any money. You need resources. You also have to make sure that you have the correct people with a level of competence starting right with the leadership. The manager that's in charge of an information security management program must have some skill. They must have some knowledge and competence in the area. We know that a big part of security is always awareness. Working with our staff that they are aware of the issues and problems. In many cases, that will help them to be better at protecting the assets of the organization. And we do that through regular communication. We turn around and communicate through all levels of the organization. The management should communicate policies and direction. They should communicate things like security awareness programs. But on the other hand, management should have an open channel of communication that they hear about any issues or problems that people are having. We should also have carefully documented programs so that things are done consistently, and it's not such that if one person leaves the organization, nobody knows how they did their job. No, it's documented. This is the procedure. These are the ways we do things so that anybody else could fill in as well. The document also becomes what we will compare against when we audit the program. Are they doing what they documented and said they would do? The next is the area of operations. This means that the information security management system should have operational control and planning. That we then have a managed program where we have plans, procedures, reporting, so that if something goes wrong for one, at least we can know about it. We do regular risk assessments. What are the risks to day-to-day operations? And of course, treatment of the risks we find in operations. The operation of our systems very often happens differently than we planned. Things happen, but now we're ready for them because we have oversight of operations. We also have to have a method to evaluate how we're doing. And performance evaluation is the monitoring, measurement, analysis. Now you can monitor. Yeah, many companies create logs. But there's a huge difference between monitoring and analysis. It does no good to just glance through a log without really doing any type of analysis or evaluation. What does the log say? And is this serious? We've seen this in a number of cases where companies actually had serious security breaches. But the problem was that their security information and event management system had identified those breaches, but the staff had not responded. So we need not only the monitoring and the tools, but you need the analysis and evaluation so we're able to take action on the things we find. It's also important that we have a process of objective, skilled, and independent internal review. We have a department that goes and evaluates the various systems and making sure that we're following our practices and our documented procedures. Make sure that we provide good information to management if there are any issues. And we should have regular management review so that management is aware if there's any problem and they can hopefully take action on those problems in a timely way. We, of course, know that one of the most important parts of this is that we won't get it right at first, but we need to seek for continuous improvement. And in continuous improvement, we then take any type of appropriate corrective action on any nonconformity. If we find something that's not following the procedures or practices correctly, that's a nonconformity. Then we have to take the appropriate corrective action to deal with that. We should seek to always find ways to do things more efficiently, more effectively. This whole idea of continual improvement of our program as well. In addition, we have Annex A. Annex A which is really then based on the ISO 27002, lists for us 14 main areas of control objectives and controls. The idea of 27002, it's a guidance document, it's called a code of practice, on things we can do to help us be compliant with the requirements of 27001. We have another really good document that helps us, and I wish more companies would follow, and it comes out of the payment card industry. The payment card industry has set out a series of standards that are not laws or regulations, but they're really good practices, and many companies would benefit from being PCI compliant even if they didn't deal with payment cards. The idea is that the PCI DSS says these are the data security standards for organizations such as merchants that handle payment cards, a credit card, a debit card. But in addition to that, we see that the payment card industry, the Security Standards Council, has come up with a number of other very good documents, such as the Payment Application Standard. The Payment Application Data Security Standard sets out the requirements for developing applications that will process payment cards. For example, if I develop a system that will be used and sold to a number of different merchants, then I have to, as the vendor and manufacturer of the software, I have to be PA compliant, and then the vendor can be PCI DSS compliant when they actually process the card. It also sets out some other very good practices and standards on a secure life cycle and secure software standards.